What's going on? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Or if it's not the weekend when you're watching this, I hope you had a wonderful day today and or yesterday, and I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. So, um, today, well, we're still going through the personal connect curriculum. We're almost done. I hope you've gotten some kind of insight out of it. I hope you're gleaning it and not just absorbing it like wholesale, but that you're actually applying it to you because that's the whole point of the curriculum. Um, it's learning about it is very different from being taught through the personal kinetic curriculum. You'll get information about that later in this episode, but that's the whole idea. We're trying to think differently about dance, change the mindsets. You need to know what it is that you're getting into yourself into before you start taking it. Um, so if we've not met before, my name is Joel Casanova. I'm the creator and founder of Beat Hunter Dance, and this talk show exists for 1/3 reasons. To help your dance journey, well, I guess one reason, to help your dance journey be healthy, productive, and 100% yours. Okay, that's why we exist. That's why this talk show exists. That's why you're here, hopefully. And if not, you're gonna get it right. You're gonna be given tools that are actually helping you get fulfillment from your dance, training from your dance. How do I say depth to the mindset you have about dance, and that's going to change a lot in your dance journey, for the better, because the more it becomes you, the more um, you're getting you're getting as much from the dance journey as you're putting into the dance journey. That's very important. Today, we're doing the fourth step of the personal kinetic curriculum, which is freestyle. And depending on who you are, when you hear the word freestyle, it's very fun. It's very awesome. You're like, I can't wait to freestyle. I cannot wait to dance outside of a specific thing. Um, and or if you hear the word freestyle, you might be terrified because you don't freestyle, or you don't want to freestyle, or you don't know how to freestyle, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of people who feel a lot of different things. The personal kinetic curriculum is very different from the way most people teach freestyling or even think about dance to begin with. Let's start there. But also, specifically for freestyle itself, it's a very different process. So, how do we get here? Musicality is the fundamental of everything. You are moving your body, you're in control of your body, you are listening to music intentionally so that when you dance, your intentionality comes out in a specific way, the way that you want to dance. And then you look like the music, your music personified in musicality, because when you're moving, you've trained your muscle to soften or contract in order to look like the music. And then we have diversity, which is the application of said musicality, right? You are applying it to different music, to different genres, to different styles and different situations. Even if it's just your personal style, you have the musicality backing you up in every scenario. I could put on any song and you could dance to it. That's like the fundamentals of choreography. You can make a piece with just those two things. But dance is art. Dance is much deeper than just decide to connect these two moves together and this is my piece of choreography, right? We have expression next. The third step, expression gives life and humanity into the dance, into the movement. We're getting performance value. We're getting real human emotion. And then it also dives into the area of I'm expressing myself and getting personal benefit from the emotions that I'm expressing and releasing and feeling through dance, right? The fourth step, well, before we get to the fourth step, If you notice the first 3 steps, the filter is music, right? Music personified, the application of musicality, even expression. You're doing it for performance value, which is the music that you're doing. You're creating a character, you're expressing yourself, you're getting facials, you're getting body language. Even when you're getting it for personal benefits and you're not performing at all, you're doing it for yourself, by yourself, you are choosing music to feel something specific or music that matches how you are feeling. That's still the music. When it comes to freestyling, the 4th step of the personal kinetic curriculum, the filter is you, wholly, entirely, right? You are creating a filter with music for the first 3 that you're passing yourself through. And then it flips around. And everything that you have learned is passing through the filter of your personal identity, of your personality, of your choices, right? How you feel, how you move, how you think are all coming out in freestyling, because like true pure freestyling is spontaneous, right? You don't have time to plan anything. That would make it not freestyling, first of all. Second of all, planning and thinking are different, right? A lot of people are like, just don't think, just move, listen to the music. And that is somewhat true. It is a very generalized idea of what you should be doing during freestyling. So, planning is beautiful. Both of them are beautiful. Planning and thinking are both beautiful, right? Here's the thing. They're 2 very different kinds of beautiful, right? Planning is like creating or mapping out a path, like on a map, right? As you're deciding your journey on a map, and you're like, these are the parameters of where we're going. This is the state of Texas. What is the plan for when we get to Texas? Where are we going first? Where are we going next? What are we going to do in each place? Right? Planning is beautiful because of the intentionality and the personalization you can get when you're being intentional, right? You're like, I'm specifically choosing this. This is right. I live in Virginia, right? It's the 250, right? When I'm recording this, it's the 250. This year's the 250th anniversary of America being created, right? So at this time, there's a lot of like patriotic things that you can get involved in Virginia. We're on the East Coast. We're like one of the first states ever, right? So in that way, I can plan out, okay, I'm going to decide where I'm going to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America, of the United States of America, right? And so, when we're doing that, we're like, okay, we're doing it for the 250th. So we're going to make the plan match that, versus like, I've lived in Virginia for the past, 11 years. 11 years. 2024 was the 10-year anniversary for me moving to Virginia. 2014 is when I moved here. Point is, if I were to do that, that plan would be very different because we're celebrating something completely different. The context is very key, and you can be intentional about that. And we're going to get a lot more into that when it gets to choreography, because that's where the intentionality really, really locks in. Freestyling is very different. Freestyling is not having a map. Freestyling is exploring and going on an adventure. You're like, we're going to take this path. Why? Because I said so. And then we're going to keep going. Do you know how long this path goes for or where it leads? Nope. I have no idea where it leads. That's not the point. Okay? So freestyling is beautiful because of like the unhindered freedom that you have. So when it comes to dancing specifically, freestyling is the freedom that you have to be yourself in many, many, many different layers, right? You're using everything that you have. You have the musicality. You've controlled your body. You can control your body. You can listen to the music. Then you go a layer deeper. And then it's like, I can use the control that I have in dance to express myself through so many different things. in so many different styles. Why? Because I want to. That is a good enough reason, right? I'm like, I can control my body, so what am I going to do? I'm going to dance to Bollywood music. I'm going to dance to freaking hip hop music, classical music, R&B. It doesn't matter. What your choices are what is what your choices is what's guiding you to use your musicality. I'm going here, so I'm going to use my musicality in this scenario. And then you're a human, so you add the humanity to your dancing, which is, okay, I am this character. I'm feeling this way. I'm doing it for this reason. I am hanging out with my friends and we decide to put this song on. And we are connecting and adding our humanity and our expression, our real emotion into this performance or into this social dance or into this freestyle session or whatever. Like you're doing this thing. We're doing this together, right? And then you get to freestyling and it's like, okay, now we're flipping it. I can do all those things. That's very true. But now I'm the filter. How I feel, how I want to move, how I think, what comes to mind when I hear this music. There's no time to plan it. What comes in comes out, right? Like it's like stream of consciousness with your body. It's a crazy beautiful thing. And there are 5 layers that I wrote down with this, right? So humans are musical creatures. We are movement creatures. When we are born, the first level of communication we have is singing and dancing. Right? We automatically move. We automatically sing. Like we were I just had the 10th anniversary of Be100 Dance this past weekend. Okay. We were looking for like birthday cards for the business. So it'd be like, hey, people can sign these cards, and you're like, oh man, like it's Be100 Dance, if it was a person, would be 10 years old today. I thought that was so cute. And there's this little girl in the dollar store where we're looking for cards, and she is just singing this little melody over and over and over again. She got to be, I don't know, she has to have been 3, 4, max 4, right? And so she's singing over and over and over and over again. And so I start singing with her, and she's like, what? She's like, I didn't know other people could like copy me and listen to me and do all these things, right? And so her grandma, mom, aunt, whoever it was with her, she's like, where did you learn this song? And the little girl was just like, I don't know, I just discovered it, I just found it, I just made it up. And I was like, that is such a beautiful thing, right? She's like, just initially whatever came to mind, she's just singing over and over again because she finds joy in it. And she's not repeating a song. It's coming from her. She's a little musician. It was awesome. That's singing. Dancing is the same way, right? I would say it's even more fundamental because before you can make a melody, before you can talk, before you can make noises as a baby, you put on music, and the first thing babies do when they realize something has changed in the atmosphere is rock. And they're like, whoa, right? They're like, I'm moving my body. Why? Because this music is on. The first time that happened to me, it was the Macarena, which is like a super crazy core memory. And anytime that song comes on, like my inner child is like, oh my gosh, the Macarena, right? Because that's what happened to me the very first time. I was in a little playpen or crib or whatever, and my grandfather played that song, and I was like, right? So it's like, no one told me to do that. That's like a human instinct, right? That's like the first layer of freestyling, right? We can still do that. You put on the Macarena today, and no matter what it is that I'm doing, I'll be like, hey, Macarena, right? So it's like, that's just like, I'm initially just rocking, right? And then it just gets deeper as we get into it. Level 2 is like the intentional on beat, like dad at a barbecue, right? We're just like I'm acknowledging that there's music happening. I'm matching the music in a very fundamental way. And I'm not trying to create anything necessarily. I'm just letting my body get taken to the music. I'm riding that instinct that I had as a baby, level 1, and I'm bringing it into level 2, so it's just a little bit deeper, right? So I'm not just rocking. I'm like taking steps and I'm moving. I'm maybe looking to the left, to the right, to the left, flip the chicken, barbecue. Hey, what? Right? So it's like I'm not necessarily creating a masterpiece, but I'm also not just rocking. I'm like kind of, it's taking form, it's like solidifying, right? Um then we have personalization, level 3, right? And it's usually personalization to something that's already created. Right? I just talked about the Macarena. It's like a line dance. Taking a line dance and then, or something that's already created, and then tweaking it and changing it and adjusting it. That is the personalization that we do as humans, right? Like the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle, the wobble, or whatever, right? A line dance that a lot of people know. You'll notice that even people who aren't necessarily super comfortable with like dancing or freestyling or whatever, they don't just do the movement. They don't just like execute one movement, done. Execute second movement, done. They're adding in something that no one told them to add in. That is freestyling. That's level 3 of my 5 on freestyling. It's like the wobbles, we look to the left, we look to the right, right? Some people will roll their hands. Some people won't. Some people will shake their arms. Some people won't. Some people do the crisscross before they look to the left, right? It's like no one told them to do that. We didn't have a consensus or a vote on what's going on. So when you look at a lot of people like line dancing, even I'm getting into like competitive line dancing or like line dancing and like weekend stuff. It's like country swing and country line dancing is like when you look at it, like no one's doing the same thing. We're all doing the same moves, but no one's doing the same thing, right? Even if someone who's like feels a little bit uncomfortable dancing versus someone who's been doing it and is like a veteran for like years, right? The choices that they make is like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing, even if it's like closer to the regular choreography, versus someone who's been a veteran is like making up their own moves and adding in extra moves and doing all this different stuff. Like they're creating it and making it their own. They're freestyling within something that has already been created for them, right? Level 4, this can be done with something that is created or not. Regardless, it's within a genre. Okay? Hip hop, ballet, contemporary, tap, bachata, salsa, country swing, West Coast swing, East Coast swing, Lindy hop, right? All these different styles, African, modern, breaking, like all these different things that come together. It's like I'm within this genre, but I am making my own choices within this genre. Now I can do it for someone that like maybe choreography that's been given to me, but I would say that's a lot more in between 3 and 4. Right? 3 is like something that's already created, a created dance, right? Like line dancing. You get like 3.5, and that's like a specific genre of dance that you're now taking the choreography and making it your own, is what we call it in class, right? Hey, just take this piece, make it your own. I essentially want you to freestyle within the created guideline that I've given you, right? The next one is like 4, solidly. I'm in this style. I've confined, and that's a really harsh word, but confined myself to this specific style. And because of that, I am now freestyling within this box, right? It's like I am freestyling in hip hop, freestyling in ballet, freestyling in contemporary, freestyling in tap, which you can freestyle in ballet. A lot of people disagree with me on that. I will die on this hill. You can. It stands. Anyways, so you're creating your own movement within this thing that has a specific movement vocabulary, right? modern has movement vocabulary. So does tap. So does ballet. So does hip hop. So does breaking. So we all have a specific style, personality, emotion, movement vocabulary. These words that are within this style. That is where a lot of people stop. Right? They have been trained so hard within choreography and to have musicality and to do it correctly that they can do choreography within these styles, but then they are like, okay, I'm like, cool, so you know tap. Yeah, okay, so freestyle something for me in tap. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? No, what do you mean? Me, I asked you first. What do you mean you can't freestyle on this thing? You know this style. You are a creative person. Who told you? When did you believe? When did you stop being creative in this thing? That's crazy. And it's like, I don't blame them necessarily because that's the system. The system has told us that we need to do it correctly and succeed in this thing. Freestyling is not necessarily succeeding. Freestyling is enjoying being creative in the thing that you already love to do. What? I'm asking you to enjoy and be creative in the thing that you're already good at. You know how wild it is? It's like, make up a sentence for me in English. You are fluent in English. Just say something. The fact that we have so many people that are crazy, amazingly, incredibly, phenomenally talented in this genre, contemporary, tap, ballet, hip hop, and I ask them to freestyle, and it's like they can't. What? I'm making these sentences up if I'm just having a conversation with you, I'm not scripting this thing. I'm just responding naturally how I think. Do that with the music. When you hear the music, don't plan what you're trying to do. Just think and respond. This goes back to what I said about planning versus freestyle, right? It's really planning versus thinking. A lot of people are like, don't think, just move. It's more like mental math. That sounds really boring, but it is, right? If you ask like a first grader, what's 7 plus 12? It might take them a second. If I teach math, if I'm a math professor or have a doctorate in math, 7 plus 12 will take me 6 seconds to respond, right? Maybe less. Be like, 7 plus 12, blah, go. A first grader will be like, right? So you are thinking. It's just how quick you're thinking. You've trained yourself to think in this way. How do I hear what I'm listening to and translate into my body? How quick does it get from here to here? Ba-da, ba-da, boom. So it seems like immediate. It's just this fluid transfer, right? It's like the stream of music flows directly into what my body can and cannot do, right? I might think, oh, that'd be a great place to do a backflip. I can't do a backflip. So I'm going to do this instead. I've thought about all these things already. By the time I hear the first beat and I go, boom, right? I'm immediately connecting. So you are thinking. So think through your body and your mind in a specific genre. That's the 4th level. I have so many feelings about this. So then the next level is even harder. If you cannot freestyle within a genre that's already created for you, how much more can you not freestyle in your personal style that is a blend of all the things you have ever learned ever, if not completely outside of any genre that exists? Reverse it. If you can freestyle in a specific genre of dance that has a specific movement vocabulary, you are one step closer to dancing in a personal style that is either a blend of all the things you have ever learned ever, or in a style that doesn't exist except within your body. How amazing is that? You have a style inside your body that literally no one has, or will ever have, or has ever existed. Ever. Ever. I don't think we really are wrapping our minds, like we say freestyling, and we have no idea what we're saying. Like, no, I don't freestyle. No, I can't freestyle. No, I'm terrible at freestyling. Replace the word freestyle with what it actually is. No, I'm terrible at being creative with my own body and allowing myself to be free. That's a lot deeper of a sentence. We need to change the mindset that we have been given. Because as babies, we're freestyling. As children, we're freestyling. But now that we get like this sharpened idea of what dance is, we just lock ourselves in the prison of a specific piece of choreography that someone created for us? What? Why? No. Check, please. I'll pass. And you can too. The personal kinetic curriculum was designed for this very specific reason. This is like right before choreography. It's like the culmination of all the things that we love about dance. This can be taught to you. You don't have to be a celebrity who's discovered and stumbled across this thing like, hey, I found a diamond the size of my face. This is amazing. I just found this on the beach. No. I mean, I'm glad, but like, what? That leaves the rest of everyone in the world out. We just randomly discovered this thing that was amazing. Why not get trained in it? Why not get trained in this crazy, amazing style that we have innately inside of us? Holla back if you hear me, right? Like, it's an incredible gift that we actually have, really, legitimately, as humans. And so the personal curriculum, the reason why I'm so passionate about it, the reason why I made it my whole source of living in my business, is because this is no longer about dancing. We're using dance, but it's about the person. You are a person. And the creative expression of yourself is something that if you have never done, you need. Not want. You need it. And honestly, everyone does it to some level. Right? If you play an instrument or if you're listening to music or whatever, if you ever tapped to the beat of the music or like nodded your head to the music, you're dancing. It's your body telling you, we want to move. Let's do this thing. Right? And trauma or training or circumstances have told you, or ignorance have told you, you can't do this, or you are bad at this, so don't do it, or that's not a possibility. Lies. Total lies. Right? So, in Being Under Dance, this is what we live for. This is what I live for. This is my whole existence. Which is such a perfect subject to talk about right after, a couple days after the 10th anniversary of Being Under Dance. This is the whole idea. You have something inside of you that the world needs. Not wants, needs. And will not get from anyone except for you. That's why you can't really see the logo, but the fingerprint is there. The fingerprint is what you're searching for. Your identity in dance, your personal style. I have a way for you to train that. It's an awesome thing. Like, I'm so blessed to be able to give this to people. So if you want to know more about it, if you have questions, if you have thoughts about anything that I've said, Behind a Dance, I have a live chat feature. You can just hit me up and say, what's going on? You can also follow me on Instagram and be like, what's going on? You can email me, I guess. You can find my number. Text me, bro. Just, let's have this conversation. Dance is meant to be a connecting thing to you to yourself, or you to other people. So, super excited. There's a lot of new things on the horizon and past the horizon. As we start going on to more and more things, I'll be releasing them. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an adventure, right? Year 10 of Beginner Dance is gonna be wild. So have a great day. Here's some information about the stuff that I do. Find time to dance to one song when no one's around and just move. You might feel ridiculous. I'm guaranteed if you've never done this, you will feel ridiculous. Sometimes I feel ridiculous, and I'm very good at freestyling. But that's not the point. You're not trying to feel cool. You're trying to express yourself in your body. And once you get that, if all my students could freestyle at their house every day and come to class before they come to class, like, me teaching them will be so much easier because they already dance by themselves. Right? If you're thinking about starting dance lessons, before you do it, as you're researching where you're going to take dance classes, you should come to me because I love you. But if you get used to moving in your body, when you start learning the things in class, it's going to be so much easier because you're already used to moving in your body. It's awesome. So anyways, here's the information. Have a great day. I'll see you Wednesday. Actually, Wednesday we'll be reacting to a video about freestyling. So super excited for that. Have a great day.